I think we're live. We should be.
Yes, we are. We are live indeed.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh, yes, we are.
All right. Do an intro.
An intro to, well, there's no one here yet. I don't think. The announcement went out though.
Very good. I think I'll do an announcement on my end as well. Just a little something. And we're not even that late.
No, only 10 minutes. Hey, and we have some people already popping up in chat. There we go.
Hello.
Hello.
And Sam.
Let's freaking go.
It's nice to have people here. Last time was really, really fun. I had a blast just chatting and answering questions. So, really looking forward to another.
Yeah, what are we drawing today, Augie?
We are drawing the draw this in your style of my character, but it's drawn in my style, which is a bit of a paradox. Because you would imagine it's already my style.
That's fitting. That's fitting.
Yeah. So let me just announce it on my story as well, and I'll just get into drawing.
Absolutely.
Hello, Wolfie and Chef, Ringtail.
Tanafond. It's a mystery character. Actually, I'm not even sure where it is. I'm sure Ongen will tell us.
Hold up.
No, it's the genie gunslinger girl with two big arms.
It should be
Very
the
big
last post on.
Oh, again?
Yeah. Well,
Oh, because it's the challenge. It's the yes.
Challenge. It's the challenge.
It's the draw this in your style.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Afton. Hey, Afton. I don't remember
Hello.
seeing you here last time. Were you here last time? Did you catch us last time?
I think we might have been too early last time. No.
Ah.
I think this is a more reasonable time for US folks.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, seems right. Well, it's kind of for the best then that we couldn't do any earlier.
This is the original character, just for.
Oh,
Oh, you
was
were.
here.
Well, my bad then.
Alright. So I guess I'll just get into drawing, and I guess mostly you guys are going to be answering questions, right? We don't have anything prepared in terms of topics,
Yep.
so it's just whatever the
Just
chat
chatting with
asks.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, answering their questions. The character that Ongen is drawing today, incidentally, the gunner with the two big Jin arms and the huge guns, has just gone out as a freebie on the newsletter, on the latest newsletter, as a stat block. So if you haven't seen that yet, it's out. And if it's not out, if I'm just wrong, it'll be out very shortly.
Well, I've seen it out on
I
Instagram.
think it's out for most people, but I think the newsletter goes in slices because of the amount of emails going out.
That
So
makes sense.
Maybe some of you didn't get it yet.
You will get it eventually. Also, very bold of you to assume, Chef, that I can't spoil nearly as much this time. You severely underestimate my power.
Well, I mean, we have exactly 24 hours to go. That's plenty of time to spoil everything.
Hell yeah,
We
and there's
are
still...
at, let me check, last time I checked, we are at $757,000
Oh,
with
kinda crazy.
6,000 backers, which is insane. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
everyone.
For sure.
Yeah, we might reach 800 by the end of the day to unlock the last stretch goal, which is the dragoon.
The Dragoon Gunner.
Class. Yeah, for the gunner.
Yeah, we really went all out on the Gunner this time. It's not always we release a new class immediately with 6 subclasses. So we'll see. We'll see if we reach it. But it's really exciting. I've had a blast designing it and seeing your response. You guys' response to it has been incredible. People have been really excited for the Gunner. They've already offered a ton of great feedback. There's a lot of changes that I already want to make to it because of it. So know that we absolutely take that into account, and your help is very much appreciated and definitely has an impact on the final product. The gunner subclasses, Ringtail, are currently, we have the Deadeye, which is kind of like a sniper, a Slugger, which is your kind of like gun fu, gun kata melee subclass, a Spellslinger, which is a third caster with sorcerer spells, a Bulletsmith, which we haven't revealed a lot about yet, a Chrono Trigger, which obviously has to do with like timey-wimey stuff, and now the last stretch goal, if we reach 800k, will be the Dragoon, which is a mounted gunner. It's a pet class, so you get a little mount pet, kind of like the Artificer's Steel Defender, and then it's all about, riding your horse and shooting your guns.
Exactly. All right. Yeah, shoot away, guys, if you have more questions. Hello, Music Man, welcome. Excited to hear more of your scores for Zaman's.
Yeah, it's been awesome, honestly.
Yeah, so exciting.
And what we're doing is Onglian is drawing the G-Girl with the two big guns as part of his Draw This in Your Own Style challenge.
Yeah, and you can check that out on my Instagram if you actually want to participate.
Yeah, there's big prizes. The 10 winners will be featured in the Zaman's art book, and the 3 winners will receive the art book, actually, signed by Ogi.
Yes,
I just added that. He didn't agree to it, but now he has to sign it.
Yeah, that's the most valuable part, of course, the signature.
Oh, you'll get... Yep, so if you guys have any questions, any comments, any things you'd like us to answer or discuss, shoot away. We're here to answer them and spoil things and get in trouble for it later.
Nightmare is saying, I love the Arabic Middle Eastern inspired setting. It's great to have some representation. Thank you. Yeah, we've been doing settings for different cultures that we have within the team that are represented. For Ryoko, obviously, we did Japanese culture and more generally Southeast Asian. For Heliana, we did, tribal hunters culture, which is basically Maru, because he likes that. He's just like always naked on the weekends, hunting rats and raccoons in Canada.
Can confirm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Can confirm.
And
working my way up to moose.
Exactly. And for Zamans, for those who don't know, I am Moroccan. I was born in Morocco. One of our artists is from Tunisia. Actually, 2 artists are from Tunisia. And we just wanted to show more of the legends that we have, the lore, the monsters that we don't often see represented in D&D, just to make stuff fresh. Yep. And also finally fix the djinn to not make them look like Aladdin genies, because that's not what they're supposed to look like. So.
Yeah, that kind of sort of cultural inspiration, you don't see a lot of it in official material. And we get it for a reason. It's tricky to make in a good way, and you definitely need to have the right people. But that's an opportunity for third-party publishers to shine. And we were really excited to do Ryoko's and to sort of showcase that side of it, and really excited to do Zaman's and showcase that side of it. I've personally already learned a ton about it.
I'm really waiting for someone to make a killer Mesoamerican inspired setting, something with Aztec and Mayan culture. Really love to see that revisited and done in a modern way, in a nice way.
Maybe it'll be us one day.
Maybe it's Mel, Mel is from
Who knows?
Yeah. We have a question that says, is Spellslinger a character caster like Sorcerer, or whatever you want caster like Tamer Bender?
Charisma. Yeah, it's a charisma third caster. It will borrow from the Sorcerer spell list.
Can you tell us a bit more about the Spellslinger if you have anything to disclose?
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously, you're gonna have your third caster chassis. That part's just what you expect from something like the Eldritch Knight or the Arcane Trickster. There's a couple of features that I credit Mel with naming. They're called I Cast Gun and I Upcast Gun, which are very exciting, and the goal is to allow people to really, have fun firing spells out of their guns and do all that kind of stuff. It's a very versatile subclass, obviously, because it's a spellcaster, and we're excited to see what people do with it.
We have another question. This one is from Afton. He says, I have one about the Rockorn. With them being separate from the other bird races, what would they be capable of make up for no flight? I have no idea what you wrote. Give me a second to reread it.
I understand.
Okay. What would they be capable to do to make up for the fact that they have no flight abilities? Good question.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing about like flight, right, is people will kind of disagree on how exactly how impactful it is, really. But you can't deny that it's at least moderately impactful to have a race that can just fly right off the bat. And usually that takes up a lot of the budget for the other racial features. And, you know, why should a bird race just kind of be saddled with that and then not have room to really... Because there's so many cool birds, and birds do so many cool things. I've been looking at, like, videos of weird birds and weird bird sounds for, like, weeks now. And I just kind of want to go in on the bird bit and talk, you know, do some more things that are like, what would a vulture, you know, race look like? What would an ostrich race look like? And I might be kind of spoiling some of the sub-races for that. But one thing that we're also doing for this, that we did for Ryoko's, and that I think I like to do, is I think it's always a blast, is racial feats, right? So feats that are limited to members of a specific race or species. And maybe, just maybe, the Rockborn's dream of flight might not be that much of a pipe dream after all. Let's just say.
Michaela Alexander is asking, what's been your favorite thing of Zaman's so far?
What do you think, Mo?
I don't know. I was waiting for Ogi to answer.
No,
he's been the one drawing 80% of the book. He's tired and burnt out. So what's your shining little thingy that you still love from the book?
I think we had there was a question last time about my favorite image, but I don't know, like in terms of sort of generally what my favorite thing is. I guess I just hate it all. I actually quite like because you do get kind of burnt out on a single, even if you find it interesting, you do get burnt out on a single theme. So I kind of like that we're switching it up a little bit with some kind of Wild West influenced themes. So that's coming in the future. It's not been that heavily pronounced in the yeah. But I quite like that, actually. It's just a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I agree. I think while the theme is basically, you know, spreading from like the whole North African continent to some of the Middle East, or even a little bit of like Turkey, etc.
Yeah.
The visuals are so wildly different, and also the different eras we try to cover are different, that basically every adventure kind of have a different feeling to it. It doesn't feel like it's redundant, which is cool. But maybe it's recency bias. I think my favorite thing so far is we had a meeting with Maru a couple days ago to finalize some of the stuff that's still missing from the book, and we had to come up with 20 different bullets. All of them are basically puns, so that was a very fun meeting.
Yeah, for sure. Those are going to be fun to write. My answer is just going to be a little simpler. I'm excited for the gunner. I've had a blast designing it. It's my baby. It's been great. That's it for me.
I thought you would say the G race. I think you spent so much time designing and talking about at the same time the gens classification and everything, but also how to make the race exciting and the different sub races distinct. I thought that would be your favorite part.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm very excited for that, and I'm excited to kind of like the gene in general, and then the sub race that come from it and whatever, are I think where we really kind of push the envelope in terms of like creativity. We have come up with a new plane of existence for them, with a whole new sort of like classification. We had to sort of make them distinct from the genies that already exist, like the elemental ones, and you know, make them different enough, make them distinct, justify their existence. And I think we did a great job with that. I think there's a lot of creative stuff in there. Very excited for that too.
Ryan is asking, afternoon all, was there any specific inspirations you all took into consideration when designing the Tomb Tyrant? Really excited to see what this guy is all about. So the Tomb Tyrant, for those who don't know, is a beholder that's basically mummified. It looks like a mummy. His eye stalks are mummy wraps, and he has this little floating orby eyes at the end of each stalk. Well, the main inspirations, one of them is obviously, pharaohs and mummies. That's very obvious. The second one is that we figured that it would be interesting to use the legend of the 10 plagues of Egypt, which coincides very well with the number of stalks that a beholder have. So no spoilers, but basically his abilities are kind of linked to that in one way or another.
Yeah,
And it
I'm
plays
not.
a very pivotal role into the mini campaign we're doing. So it's one of the important bosses you get to face before finishing the campaign. Sorry, Maru, I cut.
No, no, no. I'm not certain whether or not we'd already talked about the Doom Tyrant being sort of like inspired by the 10 plagues, but yeah, there it is. It's gonna be interesting to see.
Could you talk more about the paradox system? How does it work? This one's for you, Maru.
Ooh, okay. So we've had already a few questions about the paradox system last time, and obviously I don't want to spoil too much. I will say that the paradox system will be in the first beta version that we release. So it's one of the first things that everyone will get to see if you've subscribed to the Kickstarter. That being said, I am of course more than willing to talk a little about it now. So the paradox system mainly revolves around gaining what we're calling paradox points, right? Which is something that if you've already been playing some of the adventures that we've released early for Zaman, you see that specific actions, since these adventures all take part in the past, so you're changing the past, specific actions such as killing a certain monster, saving a certain NPC, etc., gain you paradox points. Now, in these adventures, there's nothing you can do with paradox points yet, because that's kind of like a function of the system. But the more paradox points you gain, the more you're changing the present, the more you are, the more unstable you're making time, and the harsher the consequences that will come from it. So what will happen is you will kind of build a deck of cards called the paradox deck, which, depends on the number of paradox points. There will be instructions for this. We're keeping it simple. And then you are going to randomly draw from this deck to determine what sort of like unforeseen consequences your meddling in the past has had. So you may return to the present and find that the nearest city now speaks another language, or your best friend doesn't know who you are, or you have a new scar in a weird place. So there's a lot of these like tiny changes that may initially look unrelated to the things that you did, but we're trying to make them connect. And then in addition to that, there will also be a way that certain monsters, certain creatures, can sort of almost feed off of these paradox points to become stronger in combat.
All right, what do we have more here?
Why are there no raccoons in the book? Decline to comment.
Yeah, technically there are raccoons always in every book, but
Yeah,
you'd have to go through it to know. The Fennecs, yeah.
Yeah, the Fennec is kind of like the raccoon.
It's a rack in Subrace, it counts. Let's see. When thinking of
creating... Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it, please. Go for it, please.
No, you go. I insist, good sir.
Oh, thank you kindly. When thinking of creating sub-races, were there any other concepts you had before you settled with the Dune Dwarf? So I imagine you're talking about specifically creating sub-races for already existing races, like the Dwarf. There were a few. I think we talked about some like desert elves at some point, potentially, Mo, did we not?
Yeah. We had a long list of stuff. We usually try to not make as many sub-races for already existing races, because those get a lot of love already. So we try to create new things that haven't been seen or like done in a way in depth, like we want to do it for races. But we feel like sometimes the ecology and the biome calls for a very specific iteration of something that already exists, and we felt that this time around dwarves felt very fitting for the setting.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Someone's saying stop being so polite to each other. I can't. I'm in Canada. So I'm sort of like obligated to be as polite as possible. Just out of my hands. Sorry.
Are you able to talk about the new subclasses? Which one specifically? Because there are 12 and more if we count the ones that comes with the bender, the tamer, and the gunner.
Yeah, pick one. We'll talk about it.
Which one is your favorite from the Kickstarter, Mara?
Ooh, it's like non-gunner.
Yeah, non-gunner, just like base, not bender, not tamer, just like base class D&D subclass.
I think my favorite probably has to be. I haven't like thought it through, so then I might change my mind. But right now I'm thinking of the Embalmer Wizard. Sort of the Necromancer is an archetype that general opinion seems to be isn't very well realized in actual D&D. The Necromancer Wizard sort of like falls a little short of it. I agree, and I'm excited to bring something new to the table in that regard. It's this one's less focused on sort of like summoning an army of creatures, and more about summoning specific single creatures and mummifying them and sort of like empowering them in that way. So you have like one really like an angel mummy, a dragon mummy, etc. So I'm excited about that.
Mine would be either the monk, the wormhole monk that punches you through, crazy angles and through cover and through space and time. But I have to say, I have a soft spot for the Falconer Rogue, because I don't usually play rogues, and I like having birds, as you can imagine from this book. So I think the Rogue Ranger could be... See, I always say Ranger because that should be a Ranger. That should be what a Ranger does, but it's a Rogue.
Yeah. How about you, Ongin? Maybe not from like a mechanical standpoint, but more from like a concept kind of angle? Yeah. Do you have like a favorite subclass? You've obviously illustrated all of them.
Favorite. Yeah. I think, well, it's, I guess, like concept-wise, the sort of idea-wise, I like the Mummy Wizard a lot. Like what you said.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting thematically, but I like this image the most, the Sand Druid, because it's kind of I think I came up with a very unique twist on the theme with the addition of snake riding. So I guess those would be my favorites. This one visually, and then this one conceptually.
I think the Embalmer Wizard was even born specifically out of the illustration that you created.
Yeah,
we weren't really talking about the Mummy Wizard, but then you just came out with a dope sketch, and you were well.
Yeah, that's true. It was supposed to be either I think the top contenders were Math Wizard, and a Gravity Wizard. But when the Mummy Wizard was, I think, a sketch for a Warlock at the beginning.
Yeah, I think something like that.
And then we decided to make it a wizard because it was just such a cool idea, and the art was so good.
Yeah, so it's great to have like art inform the content sometimes like that, where you're not even really thinking about, well, we need to make a wizard that does necromancy well, because it's just, we see a really cool illustration and we get excited by the concept.
Yeah, it's kind of organic.
Coven is asking, any hints about the dragoon?
Any hints about dragoon? Yeah, I can give a couple. So, the dragoon's not written yet, obviously, because it's a stretch goal. It's like kind of conceptualized, and it's been a very challenging subclass to write because there's a lot of different things that we want to do with it. You want obviously to be riding a mount. It's a pet class, so it has its little separate stat block. But then this starts to come with a bunch of challenges, which is, obviously, you have guns. You're a ranged fighter. We didn't want to make another melee fighter. We already have the slugger for that. So how do you make the mount useful when it can't be in melee to sort of like attack, right? It's easy. The Outrider Tamer, for example, doesn't have this issue because we give him like a martial proficiency, a sword, and the tamer and the creature are attacking at the same time. But you want to be far away. A horse needs to be close to attack. So we need to make the mount useful at a distance. We need to make it help you without necessarily attacking all the time. And that's being sort of like a difficult balance to strike. Another thing that I really want to do, at least, and I'm trying to find a way to do it, is make the mount very open to being sort of like flavored in whatever way you can. Like, obviously, the first thing you think of when you think of a cowboy is a horse. But why should you stop there? Why not a mechanical horse, or an ooze horse, or a bullet, or obviously the mechanics won't be there to support necessarily all these things, but I really want people to be able to be creative with this mount and to say, I have a ghost horse, I have a rhinoceros, I have, and it's tricky to include that, but that's kind of what I'm aiming for right now.
We have another question that says, can you tell us more about the Bulletsmith?
Okay, so the Bulletsmith, yeah, we haven't talked a lot about it. That was Mo. Mo really pushed for the Bulletsmith, and honestly, he was right too.
Yeah, and just for the record, Mel in chat is saying that I never played D&D. I've played the Bulletsmith, so those are lies. That's slander, Mel.
There you go.
I will not stand for it.
Yeah, so the Bulletsmith was Mo's original concept, and he really wanted to go all in on this, like, this guy has special bullets, they have, like, a variety of different effects, and that's kind of, like, the core of the Bulletsmith gameplay. If I had to compare it to an existing subclass, just so you kind of get the gist of it, I would say probably the Arcane Archer Fighter, although, we know people's complaints with the Arcane Archer, and we're trying to make it so that the Bulletsmith doesn't fall into the same pitfalls. So the idea is that you have sort of like a list of special bullets, you have a limited number of them per rest, and you use them. But a really exciting part of it, and I'm fairly certain that this was also Mo's idea, correct me if I'm wrong, Mo, is the ability of the Bulletsmith to take a magical piece of ammunition, like an uncommon, rarity gated, obviously, we don't want to get too crazy here, but say take an uncommon bullet, deconstruct it, reverse engineer it, and add the effects of that uncommon bullet to the list of special bullets that it can make each day. This was your idea, I believe, Mo.
I think so, yeah. I don't remember exactly how the brainstorming sessions go because they can get pretty crazy, but I think that was one thing we ended up pretty much at the end, I think, after we had already concepted the Bulletsmith, but we felt like it would be fun for the Bulletsmith to basically function the same way as a wizard, where you basically get scrolls and you get to, like, learn the spells in your spellbook. This time around, you learn the bullet, basically. So it still has a cost, it still has a time to learn it and effort, but when you get it, you get it.
Yeah, and it's really exciting because you sort of get all of this versatility. Obviously, it's a little dependent on you finding these bullets, these magical bullets to begin with, but the harvesting and crafting system helps with that if you're using it, because you can make them, and then you can reverse engineer them. Even if you don't, obviously, the class has a bunch of base options, so you won't be underpowered, but getting these extra options is going to really increase the versatility of the subclass and almost make a caster that isn't really a caster. You're gonna have options while being a martial class.
Exactly. Someone wants to know about the Sand Druid.
Sand Druid. That was one of the first ones we wrote, so it's not as fresh in my memory.
Yeah. That one was obviously inspired by Naruto and by Avatar, The Last Airbender.
For sure.
We basically wanted to have a take on a druid that's a little bit less conventional. So, druids, the obvious thing if you want to do a druid in the desert, it's like, oh, it can turn into desert animals. But besides creating new beasts that are deserty and do interesting things, any druid can already do that. So we wanted basically to create a druid that leverages whatever, nature gives him around. And in the desert, that's just a lot of sands and rocks. So we wanted to have a druid that basically uses that at its advantage. But, like, exactly what it does, I don't really remember, Maru. That was, like, 8 months
It
ago.
was
This is
early.
one of the
It was
first things
early.
we've written and concepted and playtested and finished. So it's been a while.
From what I can recall, it's coarse, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere. Um, it can it.
You
I'm
are
fairly
banned.
certain it no. It can use its wild shape to create a little, instead of transforming, create a little like kind of sand puppet, sand creation, and manipulate it in combat. And then there's like a bunch of different bonuses in different ways. It's not just a creature that you summon. There's like a few peculiar pros and cons that are unique to it. And then a bunch of like new sand-based spells. That's something that I really wanted in there. And like Mo said, I watched a lot of Naruto when I was younger, and I wanted to crush people in a sand coffin. So I made sure that that was an option.
Is there an Artificer subclass in Zamans? No, there isn't, because Artificer is not SRD, so we're not allowed to make third-party content for it, unfortunately. Even though I really love Artificer.
Yeah, I like it too. Sadness.
Yeah, misery.
It is what it
Ryan
is.
is saying, are y'all allowed to talk about the eight mostly controllable mounts? Which mount rules coming and 2 dedicated subclasses? I'm interested what may be on the horizon with this consideration. So the 2 subclasses, we already mentioned them. One is the dragoon, which is the mounted gunner, and one is the outrider, which is the mounted tamer. As far as mounts go, I think you guys have seen some of those on the Kickstarter page. Not every one of those was revealed, but I'll let you maybe tease 1 or 2, Maru, if you want.
Ooh, yeah, so we've revealed a few. And mounts basically we're making stat blocks, right? Stat blocks for normal creatures that you can find and fight. And we're sort of giving them special abilities that they can use specifically when they're mounted or that benefit a creature that is mounted on them. We're not really providing any sort of like native rules to tame these creatures. Because you can already do this in a variety of ways, by using the tamer, for example, or by purchasing them, or just, by passing on a few animal handling checks. What we are doing is we are providing new rules so that they're less clunky, because mounts are super, super clunky. We're providing some sort of like customization options to make your mount more unique, so that you're not just riding a horse, you're riding, I don't know, like Knight Rider, the dark thoroughbred that you bought, like, I don't know, like you're riding a specific horse with a personality, with a name, with an identity. And then we're providing equipment, unique equipment for mounts, both magical and non-magical, to increase their survivability, because that's the other thing, they're generally super squishy. And I don't want to bring my, 300 gold piece horse into battle if it's just going to immediately go down to the first, like, attack from the boss. Then why did I spend those 300 gold?
Exactly. The other thing we wanted to do is create mounts that basically have alternative ways of locomotion, so it's not always legs or wings, right? So one that we maybe have revealed, I don't know yet, it's this kind of water elemental snail that lives in its little shell, and when it comes out it's like all gooey and watery and slidey. It can climb surfaces. Obviously it doesn't like being very dry, but those kind of things I feel like are missing a little bit in terms of what mounts you could have.
That one in particular will even be sort of like a bespoke companion, such as for the tamer, with, specific abilities that help you mount it or benefit you when you mount it, etc.
Sam
Dark
is
Horse
asking,
Thoroughbred.
what's your favorite bullet type? Oof. I don't know. Can we reveal which fun bullet we're creating that we like?
Reveal your favorite one. Reveal your favorite one. I want to know as well.
My favorite. I'm hesitating between 2, but I think my favorite bullet is Misfire. That's the one. So Misfire.
We were making that one. We were making that one a gun.
No. That's not the gun. That's the bullet. It's the girlfriend of Live Round. Don't forget about that. So Misfire is a sentient 20s cartoon looking bullet, basically, that not only deals damage to the enemy, like physical damage, but also hurts their ego with psychic damage, maybe. Unless Maru changes it, which he will because he hates me and he doesn't like my stupid ideas.
Now I just want to make you a liar on stream. I'm going to make Misfire a longsword now.
Oh yeah, I mean, make it a gunblade, I guess.
Makes
Which
no
one is your
no.
favorite?
Just a normal sword, like no relation to the name at all. My favorite. Oh man, I don't know. I like the ideas that we had for what do we call them? Shell shock. We had a couple of different ideas that we ended up making into 2 separate bullets. One that has something to do with lightning damage, and one that doesn't.
We have another question asking about Kazbat as Zaman. So he says, being the central hub for this book, I know some of the plans are for the city to be modular. What are some locations within the city an adventuring party may discover? Well, we don't want to spoil too much about this one because a lot of the locations are linked to story beats that you unlock during the quests. But I think maybe we can talk about a couple more general ones that are there no matter what, Maru.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's okay to maybe like spoil one of the first adventures, but I think that the most interesting thing is kind of the ones that are not related, because the ones for the adventures are a little more specific, right? They're specific to the adventure. This NPC moves to town and opens a new shop, or brings like a wizard tower with them. Some of the other options are really what makes the city modular, because it allows the DM to pick and choose what they want to put in there. If you want a city that's very kind of just religious, has like a very prevalent religious community, you put a ton of temples. If you want a city that's more like commercial, you really go hard on the shops. And it lets you as a DM make the city yours, so that you can kind of put it into your campaign and make it fit what you need it to be for your story and for your players. I'm especially excited about some of the unique shops that we have. I think that if there's some DMs in chat, and I'm certain that there are, you'll sort of be familiar with the dilemma of your players are in town, you're trying to get them to the next story beat, but they decide they want to shop. What shops are around? I guess there's this blacksmith. Okay, what's the owner like? He's Goliath, I guess. What's his name? And then, at that point they just have it out for you. We want to just give you an inventory, give you the prices, get all of that kind of work done for you, so that you can just move on with your game, but make it fun. It's not just a blacksmith with normal weapons. Maybe this guy sells like really weird guns, like a submachine gun that shoots sandwiches, to use a really, really stupid joke. Or Chekhov's gun that kind of like, when you look at it, you feel this compulsion to fire it, or when you fire it, it doesn't go off. It goes off whenever it's most convenient for the plot. Stuff like that, weird stuff. We want to make them kooky, we want to make them unique.
Yep. Someone is asking about if we can reveal more racial feats.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, maybe. What's it in for me? Let's see. What's a good racial feat to reveal? I really like the one that we did for the Scarab subrace for the Entomorph. It's kind of out there, but it's very unique and very different. It plays off of a very unique ability that they have, and just kind of makes them better at it. I'll give you the name for it, and I'll kind of let you arrive at whatever conclusions on your own. The name of the feat is roly-poly bowling. Roly-poly bowling. So make of that what you will.
So stupid.
I mean, it is what it is.
I'm gonna check the Kickstarter to see if the number is not going backwards now with the revelation.
Hopefully not.
Actually, no, it's going up. We're almost at 760 with 24 hours left still. So I think I think 800 is 800 stretch goal might be possible, guys. That's
The
cool.
dragoon, yeah, the dragoon might be a possibility.
Yeah. So now you have to finish writing it.
Yay! No, I have fun doing it. It's a tricky one for sure, but I have fun doing it.
I see that Augie is really cooking. He's doing a Miko Hatsune kind of thing with the ponytail arms.
Yeah, because the last design.
Yeah, let's talk about this for a second.
The last design was like she has a ponytail, so one of the arms comes out of the ponytail, but the other one just comes out of like her gun finger. So it kind of makes sense. Like I wanted to change the weapon, so it's just a rifle. It's not designed yet, but I actually had a traditional sketch. I can show it. It looks like shit. So this is what I'm basing it off. But I want it to be some sort of a shotgun, and I actually have some of these Berber influences as well, which is kind of a
I can see that the jewelry there and the outfit on top,
and
and the bottom is more like cowboy kind of thing.
Maybe I'll incorporate like I want to have some sort of Berber symbols, or not symbols but more so like ornaments down here as well. But this like Berber jewelry is so easy to incorporate into fantasy because it already looks like a fantasy thing, and it almost feels like armor. It's like chainmail with really big pieces. It's really cool. So I wanted to include a little bit more of that. But and I also wanted to have the hands in this case kind of interact with the character a little more. So in the character I wanted to also have a little more solidity. She's not like just floating anymore. She's actually standing down. So it's really when I do these draw this in your style things, kind of aside from this one, I mostly prefer the redesigned ones. Like if you're gonna do it, then changing it around somehow and giving it a twist is usually more fun. So that's what I aim to do when I participate in my own challenges as well. See if there's like a different variation. Sometimes I guess if I had more sketches for this character, I could have just done another one. It's really just like when you're ideating sketches, but it's kind of reversing and going the other way around. Like you have the final and you want to come up with a different idea for it.
Just to be clear, you can't be the winner of your own art book. Just telling you that.
This won't even be in there.
Sam was just asking, will this art on the screen be in the art book too?
Probably at the end of that draw this in your style section.
I think so.
Maybe I'll even do one for the occasion.
Oh, a rare treat.
Maybe Mara will do one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's not get too far. You want some stick figures in your art book? That's how you get some stick figures in your art book.
I mean, that's still art, man. There's no shame. Like I want to see stick figures. I want to see collages. I want to see clay. I want to see everything. Just express yourself, you know.
Oh man, it's been ages since I've drawn. Maybe I'll give it a shot. Maybe I will.
You can even send us like a interpretative dance of you.
See, that's where I shine.
Dance this in your style.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Afton is saying, I know that the G's extra hands are not racial feat, but damn, the flavor for it is just awesome for character designs. Well, it's not a racial feat, it's not a G thing, but you can definitely recreate this character if you multi-class patch of the Vessel Barbarian and the Gunner with a G character. That could be how you make it work mechanically, but then obviously the flavor is that the Jin that comes out from the Barbarian is not like fully formed, and it's just the arms that appear and hold your guns for you.
There's ways to do it, and like
you can use big B's, basic big B's if you wanna be a
reflavor it.
Yeah.
And like I said at the beginning, this is a stat block that is now freely available to everyone who subscribed to the newsletter. So don't forget to check it out if you want to see what them big guns can do.
So we have 2 minutes left before the end of the stream. If you guys have any final questions, especially for Augie that we haven't heard much, fire away.
I'm not the writer, so I don't really speak to them. I just sit in silence.
He says that,
but he does full tutorials of his art on his Patreon, and he's just like yapping about color and atmosphere and hues and balance.
That's true. I can't really talk about the D&D, but I can talk about art fundamentals.
He's chomping at the bit to answer your questions. I just know it. Weird, but when we switch to sub only, something going on in chat.
All right, weird, but when did we? No, we didn't touch anything, so I'm not sure what's happening.
Oh, yeah. Here's a good question for you, Ongyan.
Oh no.
It's Afton is asking, would you be up for being taught D&D by Aggie and Maru?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he already knows a bunch now that he's at every meeting hearing us yap
Yeah.
and argue if something is a good spell or a good ability or.
Yeah, I haven't
which
really
would fit or
played
not.
D&D,
Or
which is
Ongyan.
kind of bizarre probably, but I do know a lot about it because I have to keep it in mind when I'm drawing for it, and it actually helps like learning about it because I used to like a few years ago have no idea about D&D, so whenever I got a commission, it was just like going in blind, like no context. I guess there might be value there because I might reinterpret something a different way, but it does help to actually understand what's going on if you can believe that.
Tell you
I mean,
what,
you've
for
been
the next
working on D&D
Kickstarter,
art for like, what now, 6 years, 7 years, I think?
Probably something like 6 years, yeah.
Yeah.
for the next Kickstarter, we should add that as a stretch goal. Stretch goal, Ongyan plays D&D.
Yeah, on live stream. You just get to find out how little I know.
We'll
It's
coach
fine,
you.
you just need to improvise. Michaela is saying, as a music man, I gotta ask, where's the music? The music is in your heart. You already made so many scores for this book, man.
Yeah, unfortunately this time I think it's a little outside of the scope of the project. It was fun to do it for Helianas, but you know, they can't all be the same. We got to change it up
Yeah.
here and there. And if we don't do music, then that's like time we can put into making other things that weren't in Helianas, for example.
It's not just about time, it's also, we only introduce stuff that we either feel we can add something to. We can, you know, bring a fresh perspective or try to do something that's not freely available out there. And also stuff that we know about and we're passionate about. And unfortunately, we don't know anything about music. We have very good artists on the team that are musicians, like Ella that did the music for Ryoko, or Michael Gelfi that did the music for Helianas. But as far as Arabian-inspired music, we don't have anyone, at least in our immediate circle, that does that, and that would be willing to, and also knows D&D obviously, to do something like, you know, fantasy, Arabian, desert punk, that kind of stuff. But we're not against the idea. I'm pretty sure once the book is out there, some people will reach out that come from those communities and that have a background in music, and that we probably would collaborate with.
Yeah, for sure.
McKenna is saying, all right, I'll start the fan album right now. Feel free. Make sure to tag us and we'll give you a little signal boost. All right, guys, I think this is the end of the stream. Let's see where Ongyan is at with his...
I'm getting
he
somewhere.
started shading.
Yeah.
Started
Okay.
putting a little bit of values on there. Very cool, man.
Thank you.
When do you think you're gonna finish this one and post it?
I don't know, honestly. Probably after my vacations. It's gonna be like the 16th, the 17th. I want to do it a little early. I want to do it like the last day of the challenge. That would be a little
Yeah.
lame.
When is the last day? Is it the end of the month?
No, I think it's the 25th or the 24th. Because I think I posted it on the 24th and the deadline is in a month. So I think it's the 25th. I might have it. No, I think that's correct. Something like that.
Right. Yeah. That doesn't leave me a lot of time to make one. I need
That's
to,
a lot of time. There still is time.
Speed run it. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
I'm just going to answer one quick question.
Yeah?
Sorry, one last question from Afton because it's just a really easy one to answer. He asks, will any of you be at UKGE? And the answer is yes.
Yes, we will be at UKGE. Me and Maru.
I will not be there.
Sally. Oh no, sorry, not tomorrow. Narv, I meant. And Will from D&D Shorts will also be with us at our booth. Maybe to sign some Ryoko related stuff. Who knows? Depend on what we can manage with the tariff madness and the freight problems that there is right now. But we will keep you updated. We'll probably make a post about UKG a week before it happens. So if anyone wants to bring their Heliana copies or, you know, Larsen's copies for us to sign, we'll be there. The full convention. Afton, have the books ready. All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. We really enjoyed doing these streams. So at first we only wanted to do them for Zamans, but we think we might start doing these more often, especially when we are designing new stuff for the monster hunts or the adventures. So yeah, we'll let you know. Obviously, we need a little more preparation, maybe a little be more consistent, and also prepare some stuff for the stream to be more presentable. This is just very ghetto setup, but thank you all for coming. This was very fun, and it's always cool to answer questions from you guys.